So Karl, thus begins 5 episodes of spooky content.
Ooh, I even got a costume, but we're not going to reveal it until the day of Halloween itself, so look forward to that one.
Ooh.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a watershed moment for film, mainly because of all the ultra-realistic hyper-violence shown on screen. As it turns out, most of this was real, largely because the actor playing Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen, couldn't be arsed in most of his scenes.
Alright, let's just get the ball rolling then.
Okay.
Pick a scene.
We'll start with that scene in which the character of Sally has her finger sliced open and an old-ass man begins sucking on her sweet teenage blood for nourishment. You know, this scene. Before we continue, we should probably warn everyone at home of a nervous disposition. This video and probably the next few Halloween-themed videos are going to have, some gory-ass shit in them. Because 'tis the season, so you have been warned.
'Tis the season.
Isn't that what you say?
That's a Christmas thing.
Oh, shit.
'Tis
What do
the
you say for
season to
Halloween,
be
then?
jolly.
What's the Halloween equivalent of 'tis the season?
Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
What he said.
So what in that scene was real?
All of it.
How was all of it real?
All of it was real. The blood, the cutting of the finger, the screaming, the old-ass man sucking on the blood. It was all real. It wasn't supposed to be, I should point out, but it was.
So what was supposed to happen?
Originally, the effect of the finger being sliced open and blood coming out of it was supposed to be achieved via a series of rudimentary tubes that were hidden along the actress's arm, ending at her fingertips, through which fake blood would be pumped.
So was the knife real?
The knife was real, but it was dulled with tape which was placed over the blade so that Gunnar Hansen, aka Leatherface, could run it along the actress's finger without hurting her, at which point people off camera would begin pumping the fake blood through and it start spurting out of her fingertip, giving the effect that he cut her finger open. The problem was, though, that, it gets hot when you're filming under lights, as I can assure people. Now I've got 2 of them shining in my face, and the fake blood in the tubes coagulated, and every time they tried to do a take of that scene, the blood wouldn't pump through the pipes.
So how did they manage to solve the issue of the coagulated blood?
They didn't, and Gunnar Hansen was getting kind of pissed off with it because he was stood there in full Leatherface makeup under hot lights, sweating his nads off. So what he did is, after one failed take too many, he quietly took the tape off the knife and then stood there patiently waiting to hear the word action again, in full Leatherface makeup, staring at the actress.
So not that I need to ask, but what happened next?
The moment the director yelled action, Gunnar went into Leatherface mode, grabbed the actress and roughly cut the end of her fingertip open, causing it to start spurting blood everywhere. And the thing is, after you cut someone's finger open, they're not going to want to do that scene again. So, because that was the only usable take they had, that's the one that made it into the film. So that actress screaming is genuine because you can't fake that kind of terror.
Surely you can't get away with that kind of stuff.
Not in today's Hollywood, we're talking about the 80s here, Brad, and these were unknown, struggling actors. You could do whatever the fuck you wanted to them as long as you promised them a payday. So that actress, as pissed as she was, agreed to do the rest of the movie after doing that.
And the old guy, did he drink the real blood then?
I think he did. Because obviously, like I said, the fake blood wouldn't pump through the pipes.
Do you reckon he noticed when it didn't taste sweet?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just know that it's fucking disgusting and kind of weird. And also a little bit hilarious that Gunnar Hansen did it in full Leatherface makeup. That's getting into character, isn't it, that? That's taking the role just a little bit too far. It's like, fuck this, I'm going to cut the finger open for real. You can't do that. So I can.
To be honest, I'm not surprised they used that take in the film.
Oh, neither am I, because in Hollywood, they do that shit all the time, don't they? Actor or stunt guy gets injured trying to do a stunt. Wow, that take looks really awesome. Let's use that in the final movie. Let's let their failure live on forever. And also the most famous example of that is the second Lord of the Rings movie where Viggo Mortensen kicks the Uruk-hai helmet on the floor and actually broke his fucking toe. And Peter Jackson went, oh man, the anguish felt so real, so I put it into the movie. It's it's real because he broke his fucking toe.
That reminds me of that one in Hot Rod.
Oh my god, the one in Hot Rod's so bad. Brad, for the people at home who don't know what you're talking about, tell them what happens in Hot Rod.
Tell him, I'll put the clip in, Karl.
Oh, you better put the clip in.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're seeing in that clip is Andy Samberg's character eating shit trying to do a stunt. Andy Samberg broke, I think, his femur, is it? Is that the bone at the top of your leg? He shattered whatever bone that is at the top of your leg.
The thickest bone in the body.
Completely in half. And that was the first day of shooting or some shit. And they said to Samberg, do you want us to put that clip in? Because that's a really bad break. He said, oh yeah, it's hilarious, put it in, it's great. It's the best take we got all day. So they put it in the final movie. And that happens all the time in Hollywood.
Yeah, the one that springs to mind for me is there's a stunt in Triple X where the stunt guy actually died.
Oh, I heard
doing the
about
stunt.
this.
But to honour him, they put in the bit where it was the stunt where he died.
To honour him. That sounds to me like, the stunt man we had in previously died doing this stunt. No other stunt man working for us wanted to do it, so we had to use that take. But, oh man, like, there's another Tom Cruise. I think he break his foot in the very latest one.
He breaks everything.
He showed it on the Graham Norton show a couple of months back, where he tried to jump from from building to building and shattered his ankle. And he said, like, well, as soon as I did it, I knew I broke my ankle, and I knew we couldn't redo the shot. So I climbed up and walked on it, and he walked on his broken ankle, and that shot made it into the film.
Have you ever looked into all of the Johnny Knoxville ones?
Oh man, his eye fell out.
He broke his dick once as well.
His eye fell out when they were making action point.
He said he was walking down the street with somebody and he sneezed and his
Yeah,
eye
his eye
came
fell
out.
out.
He was
What?
like, don't worry, he just pushed it back
The
in.
thing is, as well, I love all the shit he's done and all the injuries he's had. He's been hit by a bull. He's been hit by anti-personnel mines that fire like 1,000 rubber balls. And he says the most painful thing he's ever done is in the first season of Jackass when he tried to jump over a river that's got water in it this fucking deep, over a gap that wide, and he just like absolutely eats shit and like his legs stretch out. He's wearing skinny jeans or something like that, and he just completely and utterly just ripped his groin in half.
Oh.
And obviously that shot made it into the episode. It's fucking great. Oh my god. So if you were thinking Gunnar Hansen was being a bit of a penis by cutting an actor's finger up, no, he was following a well-established trend in Hollywood of just getting the best shot by any means necessary.
But the actress wouldn't have agreed, though.
I don't think she would have, no. But then again, she gets to like go to conventions and shit like that for the rest of her life, saying I was like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I think she's all right.
Do you bet she shows off the scar?
Oh no.
Do you reckon she's got like a
You don't
line
get
on
scars
her
on
finger?
your finger, do you? They all go away.
No, you get where the fingerprints are. You get like a line through.
Do you?
It alters your fingerprint.
That's awesome. No, I better not do that.
Just before we move on, I just want to double check something.
Okay.
Did Gunnar ask permission from anybody?
Oh no, because if he'd have asked permission, they'd have said no. Speaking of that scene, it's probably worth noting that in addition to the knife being real, the hammer wielded by the aforementioned old-ass man when he's trying to cave in somebody's head while they put it over a bucket was also real, and the actor playing that old-ass man was genuinely at risk of caving that person's head in if he'd have missed.
I don't want to be on that film set.
I don't think anyone did, really.
Madman wandering around with sharpened knives and a hammer.
Apparently it really smelled. Just the set, it stunk. For reasons we'll get to in a moment, but yeah, it really stunk. It was boiling up, and especially like for the guy playing Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen, he says, oh, that costume was awful. Because I had to wear like this stupid rubber mask and carry around like a 40-pound actual real chainsaw. Oh yeah, the chainsaw in Texas Chainsaw Massacre was also real.
So the chainsaw was also real?
Oh yeah, 'cause fake chainsaws cost money, mate. Real chainsaws, you can get them anywhere.
But doesn't he like hold it really close to people's faces and threaten everyone with it?
Yes, he does. Like in this shot here. So yeah, that's a real working chainsaw next to a real working actor's head who was not paid nearly enough money to appear in that movie, given that he could have had his head fucking cut off at any moment if Gunnar would have sneezed or went to scratch his balls. But apparently the risk to everyone in that scene was fairly minimal. The same cannot be said of scenes where Gunnar had to run around holding the chainsaw.
Let's just take a little step back.
Okay.
Who tries to scratch their balls holding a chainsaw, Karl?
I don't know, guys who are confident in their ability to wield a chainsaw, I suppose.
Very, very specific group
Yeah.
of people.
Well, it's like the old question, it's like how do you scratch your balls holding a chainsaw? Like, carefully. Or my personal favourite Yahoo Answers thing ever, which is, what's the word for fear of chainsaws? And the top answer is just the word common sense.
So all of the chase scenes they do in the movie,
Yes.
they're also real.
Yes, they are also real. And just so we're all on the same page here, one of those scenes called for Gunnar to chase someone through a field wearing a vision obscuring mask, wearing high heel boots while carrying an actual working chainsaw at night. That's like, I don't even know how to describe the size of the balls a human being would have to think that's a good idea.
That's like going in a video game, put it on like the highest difficulty
It
set.
is, isn't it? It's like, you've already got the added difficulty wearing like the vision obscuring mask, and then you're wearing the high heel boots, and then like, you know, the movement restricting costumes. You've got to wear like a fucking smock, and then you've got all the other shit he's got to do. Like you're running through a field, there can be anything that could trip you up. Then you've got to chase somebody, and you've got to scream while you're doing it.
And it's pitch black.
And then it's night. It's night time, because fuck you. Just like difficulty slider all the way up. It's like, fuck you difficulty. Like when you're in Skyrim and you think, oh yeah, I'm just going to put it up to like, master difficulty. And you run into a bandit champion with a fucking glass warhammer who just caves your skull in 3 seconds. Like, great. I killed Alduin, the destroyer of worlds. What was this bandit champion doing? What the fuck was he doing when I was trying to save the world from all these dragons? He just sat here sitting pretty on his fucking throne wearing steel armour and he can kill me, the god of this world. Fuck you, Skyrim.
While we're on the subject, what game do you think, if you slide that difficulty bar all the way to the hardest one, is the hardest to beat?
I don't know about the hardest, but I know the one I struggled the most with was Metal Gear Revengeance, but hot damn was that the most satisfying conclusion to a video game I have ever had. Because completing that game on the hardest difficulty is a fucking slog, but you feel like such a badass for doing it. And never before have I felt such elation at suplexing a giant robot spider.
I think I can top that, though.
Okay, what is it?
Computer chess.
Oh, fuck's sake. That's not even fair. Basically, put it to Deep Blue. Right, Gary Kasparov combined with Deep Blue. No, fuck computer chess, Brad. How about Tetris? Like, chess, yeah, that's difficult. But have you ever seen Tetris at the absolute highest possible difficulty? It turns invisible. It turns invisible, guys. They play Tetris when the blocks are invisible. People do it. They actually play it when it's invisible.
Do you have to predict the movements based on the one that's coming next?
Yeah.
Because you can't see it as it's coming.
No, you can't see anything. Everything's invisible. People beat it. And they complain when it's not hard enough. And every year they release a harder version of Tetris. And all the Tetris pros go, make it harder. And we can't. We can't. There's no way. You've beaten Tetris. You are. Just stop. If you keep doing it any harder, you're going to open a rift in reality. And God's going to come out and slap you. Stop it.
Something I find interesting is that everything that's like a challenge, there's always people who make it not a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
There's
always that person who's better at it than you, isn't there?
The most common one I can think of is a Rubik's Cube. So you can learn the pattern to do a Rubik's Cube. Then you see that guy who did two and one in each hand.
And then you beat the people who can do it while juggling, and then people do it while blindfolded from muscle memory alone. It's like, fuck you! Stop being so good at something so stupid. Getting back to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and those scenes of Gunnar Hansen running around dressed as Leatherface holding an actual real working chainsaw. According to the actor, the most difficult part of filming those scenes is the fact the actress he was chasing didn't run fast enough.
What do you mean she didn't run fast enough?
Well, according to Gunnar Hansen in a later interview, he recalled that the actress ran so slowly that he actively had to limit how fast he ran while holding the chainsaw. So the only reason that Leatherface doesn't rage sprint at cheetah speed towards the actress and cut her into confetti is because Gunnar Hansen's like, nah, I'm alright.
I just realised something.
What?
You know how people always make fun of Michael Myers for walking? That's because they have to walk because the people are too slow.
It's also as well that a lot of the actors who play those bad guys are very tall.
Yeah.
It's like the one that always gets me is Jason Voorhees. The guy who plays him in each film is usually 6'7". Have you seen what the walking pace of someone who's 6'7" is? It doesn't matter if you're running. That guy's going to catch you in 5 minutes. And also, well, that's the point. It's scary that the guy always walks. That's why It Follows is so scary, isn't it? It's a creature that's following you at a brisk walking pace forever.
But then again, It Follows is meant to be this thing that just never stops walking towards you, so it will eventually.
Well, that's like with Jason Voorhees, isn't it? But I there's a great way I heard it put in one of the films. They're talking about Jason Voorhees, where he's supposed to be this mindless killer. But in one of the films, he cuts someone's head off and hides it in a woman's fridge, which means that Jason hid in her house with a severed head and then put it in her fridge and then waited for it to come downstairs. So Jason Voorhees is still there going, tee tee, with his little
still Michael Jackson laugh.
Just doing it in the corner. Oh, man. Those films are always amazing though when the killer manages to travel several hundred miles, like in Freddy vs. Jason, where Jason goes all the way from Camp Crystal Lake to wherever the fuck Elm Street is, and it's a couple hundred fucking miles. How did Jason get there without anyone spotting him? Who did not notice a 7-foot tall guy carrying a machete and wearing a hockey mask walking down the side of the motorway? While we're talking about Freddy vs. Jason, can we just give a shout outs to the bravest motherfucker in cinema history? And that is the big, huge, fat guy who sees Jason Voorhees in that field when they're having that party, and he calls him a pig fucker. He sees a guy 4 times his size with shoulders that could like be classified as a war crime, wearing a hockey mask, overalls, and carrying a machete, and he calls him a pig fucker and throws beer on him and then sets him on fire. Also, what the fuck was in that pitcher of beer that it set on fire?
Freddy vs. Jason is just a clusterfuck of weirdness. There's that random scene where that guy gets high and sees the weird slug.
It's so good. We can't forget the bit where Freddy Krueger sees that black girl and goes, dark meat. It's like, okay, who wrote this line? Hello, 2001. How you doing? Oh man, it's so bad, isn't it, when they try and remake those? It's like they're all the Jason Voorhees ones. And the first shot they have of Jason Voorhees is him sprinting. It's like, okay, cool. So I can turn this movie off. He's not supposed to sprint, he just walks everywhere, man, at a brisk pace.
Hollywood always gets really embarrassed when people start making fun of tropes, like the zombies. They've made all zombies run because everyone made fun of slow zombies.
Oh, what's a zombie who just walks everywhere going to do? That's not scaring us. That's the point. The point of zombies is that you can outrun them, and that one-on-one you can defeat them. But the point is, there are way more zombies than there are of you, the survivors, and that no matter how far away you get, or how, safe you think you are, they will never tire and they will pursue you forever. But no, fuck it, make them sprint everywhere.
Well, It Follows is the same principle.
Yeah, that's why it's scary, because it doesn't matter how far away you get, it will come eventually. Yeah. It's coming. One day, though, I just want Hollywood to say fuck it and just make zombies like The Flash. And it's like have zombies falling out of orbit like the Terminator in Genesis, where it just flies like a bullet down head first. So you know what? Yeah, escape that, you bastards.
See, now all I can think of is the fucking Goku headbutt.
But we're not done talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre just yet, because in addition to the knives, the chainsaw, and the blood all being real, pretty much everything else on set was too.
So all of the gory stuff and the bones, they were all real as well?
Oh yeah, all those bones are real. Those are some real-ass skeletons, folks. There are skeletons in that movie.
As in animal skeletons?
Oh no, real human skeletons. Do you know why? This is the best thing. Because it was cheaper to buy skeletons wholesale from India than it was to buy fake plastic ones. And you might be thinking, Karl, that's awful. But I'd like to look at it a different way and hope that somewhere out there is the ghost of some random Indian dude who just gets mad hype thinking about the fact that his skeleton got turned into that sick, awesome bone lamp in the movie.
That has genuinely got to be one of the worst facts I've heard so far.
What? That it's cheaper to buy real human remains than it is to just make fake plastic bones? Did you not know about the Hollywood skeleton trade?
There's not a Hollywood skeleton.
No, I'm making that bit up now. But in the 80s, there was a big trend of them just buying skeletons en masse for horror movies because it was cheaper. Just to buy them, like I said, wholesale from foreign countries where they didn't give a shit, and just import them, because making fake plastic bones and then aging them realistically took an age. Joe, it's cheaper and easier. Buy a real one.
Yeah, I guess looking at it from a different perspective, it does make sense.
It's
just billions of people, and
but
it takes a while to make.
It's so bad, isn't it? Where you think it's cheaper to buy an actual human skeleton than it is to pay some prop maker somewhere to make one. And you know what makes it even worse? That most of the time they didn't tell the actors they were using real skeletons because they didn't want them to get scared, because skeletons are scary, folks. And the famous example of that is Poltergeist, right at the end of the movie, where the lady falls into the pit of skeletons, and all the skeletons rise to the surface out of the water, and she shits herself. She asked the director after that, saying, "Wow, those skeletons look really real. How'd you do that?" And, "Oh no, they are real skeletons." It's cheaper to buy real skeletons. So I want to know as well, who ordered them skeletons? Who wrote on the budget? What was the skeleton budget for the movie? I want to know, for every horror movie, I want to know what the skeleton budget is. I want that listed in the fucking credits. What is your skeleton budget?
I don't know how much they are, because we could totally decorate for Halloween with skeletons.
I'm not buying a skeleton. We are not buying a skeleton for this channel.
we can call it Bonesy. It can be the Fiend skeleton.
We are not getting Mr. Bones in this shit. No.
So the skeletons are real, the cutting the fingers real, the chainsaw's real.
And don't forget the fear. The fear was also real.
Okay, so I'm going to just hazard a guess that the blood was all real as well.
Oh yes, the blood was all... It wasn't human blood, I should point out.
Oh no, was it not cheaper to buy human blood?
No, it was cheaper to buy animal blood from slaughterhouses. So what they did is they bought animal carcasses and blood and stuff from slaughterhouses and just threw it all over the sets, and then dressed the sets with the gore and viscera they obtained from the slaughterhouses. And remember earlier when I said it was really hot on the set and that it really smelled bad? Now you know why. Because there was decaying animal carcasses all over the set. I should point out as well, Joe, when they couldn't afford to buy, like carcasses from slaughterhouses. Do you know where they source some of, the corpses of animals?
Did they kill themselves?
No, side of the road.
Oh.
They were filming in Texas after all. So they just went out, found roadkill, scraped it up with a shovel and just chucked it on set. Yeah, remember when I said this movie smelled? It really smelled. By Gunnar Hansen's own estimation, there were only 10 fake bones in the entirety of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And that might sound like a lot of fake bones until you realise there were a lot of bones in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Given that they only had 10 fake bones to work with, the rest of the sets were dressed with, as noted, actual human remains, carcasses of animals sourced from slaughterhouses, and dead dogs found by the side of the road. Now, we don't know for sure whether the director went out in his car and ran those dogs over himself, but given what we've talked about today, I wouldn't be surprised if I found out that he did. Something you may want to keep in mind if you ever find yourself watching this movie again. Since we've talked about Leatherface today, Brad, let's settle the argument once and for all, at least between us. Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. Who's your man? Who's going to win in a 4-man battle royale?
In an actual fight?
Yeah, in an actual fight to the death. Because obviously they tried to do it in Freddy vs. Jason, but neither one lost because they couldn't do it because the respective rights holders of each movie wouldn't let them lose. So let's just say, fuck those guys who actually make them fight for real. Who's going to win?
I think a genuine fight between the 4 of them. I don't know, because Kruger's the only one who's genuinely supernatural, isn't it?
No, Jason's supernatural. Don't forget, Jason went to space.
But can't Jason die?
No, he went to hell in one film, then came back.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Michael Myers, I think, can die. I think it's established that he's meant to be invulnerable, but he can actually die.
Yeah. So I think we're going to say, off the bat, Leatherface and Michael Myers are going to get their shit rocked immediately because they're just regular dudes who happen to be, super evil and good with knives and chainsaws, respectively.
And out of the 2 that are left, Jason doesn't sleep.
No, Jason never sleeps.
So Kruger can't get him?
No. Well, he does, though, doesn't he? Because I think when he gets injured, that's how the Freddy vs. Jason starts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Jason's, in hibernation or something after being struck by fucking lightning or something like that. And Freddy Krueger visits him in his sleep, but he can't kill him in his sleep. Because obviously Jason Voorhees just keeps coming back. So my money's always going to be on Jason.
I think my money would be on Jason. Out of the 4, my favourite is probably Michael Myers. I really like I quite enjoyed the Rob Zombie one. I know it's not a popular
It's not
opinion,
great, yeah.
But
I like Michael Myers of the idea that it's probably the cheapest, laziest costume in any horror movie ever. And it's scary. If people don't know, the actual mask they used in the first Halloween movie was a William Shatner Star Trek mask spray painted white. That's literally it. And then they give the guy a boiler suit and a knife. And that's it. And that's it. And that's his costume. It's fucking terrifying. Because of course an 8-foot version of fucking William Shatner who's ghostly white would be terrifying. Getting back to the topic, Brad, we've established that Leatherface and Michael Myers will have their shit rocked. But let's say you start introducing other slasher movie icons from the 80s. How would Chucky fare? If Chucky came in as a ringer?
I think Chucky would suck.
No, but can't Chucky transfer his soul? He transfers it into the doll, doesn't he? What would happen if Chucky transferred his soul into Leatherface's chainsaw? Because then you've got an evil chainsaw.
Yeah, but the evil chainsaw can't really do much on its own.
But what about if, because Leatherface is a human and he understands machinery, because you see him tinkering around with his chainsaw and shit, he teamed up with all of the evil inanimate objects from movies, like Christine the car. And then on the car, he puts the tyres from Rubber, the evil sentient tyres that run people over, and he puts them on Christine. And then he's got his chainsaw with Chucky's soul in it. What other inanimate objects have you got from movies? There's that one where it's the elevator, the evil elevator that kills people.
How are you incorporating an evil elevator into this fight scene?
No, he does the thing from Fast and the Furious, where he straps the safe onto the back of the car, but it's the elevator. And he straps onto the back of the car and he does sick tail whip spins and it slaps people with the safe.
I think if you have to get to
and when it does, it chomps and it grabs them inside and kills them.
If you have to keep adding this much stuff to make it an even fight, he's not going to
make it an even fight. I'm making it a curb stomp symphony. What other inanimate objects that are in horror movies can they wield? Because that can be their the mystical artifacts they get.
What about all of the items from Goosebumps? Like the blood.
Slappy. They get slappy, and then they get monster. Oh my god, they could do this! And what you do is you make it like the Hunger Games. We have all 4 of them fighting, and in the middle it's all that random shit from various horror movies that's been used to kill people. Like you have the car, Christine, you have the evil elevator, you have the Chucky doll, you have Slappy, you have Monster Blood.
If you're going to do that, you have to add in more people to fight. So you put in a bunch of different horror villains, and then horror items are available for them to use.
Oh man, that'd be fucking amazing! We've got an idea here. Hollywood, if you're watching...
Fuck Freddy versus Jason.
Fuck Freddy versus Jason. How about everybody versus everybody fucking else with, like, all the other shit, man? Because there were so many, like, random cursed objects from horror movies that you could bring in. And they could all wield them, like, you know, like weapons. I want to see, like, an RPG. Like, I want to level up my Leatherface. He's not wielding a chainsaw anymore. He's wielding, like, the fucking Pandora's box or some shit like that. He's wielding, like, the gem from Wishmaster. And he's fucking sick, man. What a good idea for a film. Let's go talk about this some more over a cup of tea. Bye, folks.